Good morning, folks. Welcome. It's another Thursday, new release week. But now we've added another thing in just because we're doing Switch 2 right at the moment for some videos. So I've got those games here. So there's a lot of folks that have questions, a lot of folks that have their own ideas of the best way to show things. And I'm happy to support all of that, but I can't read minds. So I figured, well, today we'll take a look at it. And if anybody wants to see some settings against Cyberpunk on the Switch 2 versus the Steam Deck, or what's the other game, Hogwarts Legacy or something like that, we can do that while we're here as well. So it is Thursday, June 12th. So we actually are about, my guess would be 2 weeks away from the Steam summer sale. I would guess it's going to start the 26th. Or the night, well, let's see. Yeah, the 26th. And go through potentially, let's see, that's a week. The 11th of July. That's my guess. I don't know. Maybe they put that out. I haven't read it, but they usually cover at least the week of Thanksgiving. July 4th. Christ. Already in Thanksgiving. Benevolent Beetle, how are you, man? Welcome. And Kill All Llamas. Gotcha. Welcome as well. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, no, it's something like that. We're gonna be around that time frame. So I know a lot of people were not flipping out, but fanboying out, I guess, in a way. And I was surprised that there's even Steam fanboys. Sexy Captain, how are you? But there can be anything, right? And we'll use that term lightly. But we have games like that, and we should be happy it's running on the Switch 2 as well as it is. It looks good. It plays well. I think it's a good thing. I know Wreak Havoc had mentioned something in one of the comments about the population density, which he's definitely correct in that sense. It's less than a full-blown 4K PC rig could run, right? With the 4090 and all that. It definitely is. And I think that's the one thing that we have to realize is if you buy the Switch 2 version, you are kind of buying something for an appliance. It's like making a cup of coffee at home, right? Some people just want a cup of coffee that maybe it's got a timer and that's all you need is a cup of coffee and it makes 12 cups. But then some people want the Keurig thing. So you go buy a Keurig so you can have all sorts of different coffee and it can be single served as you go, right? Or you can go all out and buy espresso machines that make things very meticulously, and you measure and you spend a half hour making your coffee. I know, coffee does sound good. That's kind of what it is. When you buy a Switch 2 or any console, you're buying an appliance. It's going to start, and you guys know this, it's just going to start, you press a button, it fires up and it's going. If you buy the PC version, you can put it on anything and you can make that whatever flavor you want. You can, if you've got enough money, right, you can throw at that and make it run beautifully at 4K, 120, 240 frames per second, whatever it is. Or you can run it on your Steam Deck and it runs at 30 frames per second with, solid support, and you can take it with you, but you only have to buy it once. I don't know, that's kind of thing. French press, I like French press, Longy. Yeah, I'm with that. But I am a Keurig person, and I've went as far as to buy a business one, install it into the house, and have direct plumb wire, water to it. So it's always full of water, so I don't have to do that. That's how I am. But we've all got our tastes and our differences. And I think that's it, because there were people that were throwing I'm paid by Nintendo, I'm being a shill. I've got 1,100 videos on here on the Steam Deck. I don't think Nintendo wants anything to do with that, but who knows? I don't know. I thought it was funny. But that's kind of what I figured we'd do today. But we also have We also have some other games, and where am I looking at? Um, Let me see. Let me flip this around. We'll take a look at some of the games that we do have. I know. The hardcore Keurig people. I buy one type of Keurig coffee. It's from Costco. It's $39, and it's you get 120 K cups or whatever, and it's the dark roast. And that's all I ever buy. That's all I drink. I even take it when I go paint studios. I have this little like. It's kind of funny. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but you can get like it's kind of like a French press for Keurig cups. It's like I don't know, $20, $18, something like that, and it's basically this contraption. You sit it over top of your cup. It sits on it. You put the K cup in, then you screw this other piece in. You fill it with boiling water, and then you just press down on it, and it pushes it through. So that's how I make mine when I'm on the job site. I don't pay Starbucks. Too much money. I'd be broke. So we did get a couple games. Let me turn up music. That music's always really loud to me. Damn Vampire Survivor. Let's see. So we've got Tormented Souls 2. That is only a demo. That's been put out this week for the Next Fest. So we can take a look at that. Sorry, I'm looking at this camera still. I should be over here. And I should put this in front of me. We've also got Vilde and Beyond the Map. Both are Vilde's full game, Beyond the Map's a demo. I did pick up Metro Awakening VR, but we're not going to go through that one today. I might do a video on it, but I love the Metro series, and that was on sale, so it was like $20. So I bought that one. But developers provided these, of course. Teddy's Haven, which is another one of those shop simulators we've seen. And then I think that was it. Didn't we'd covered the rest, I think. Let me just check and make sure. Oh, Islands and Trains. So we could go through that as well. That's more of a casual kind of sit back, relax type game. Now, Stellar Blade did come out today, but I haven't bought the key yet because I forgot it came out today. So I will make a video on that, but we'll have to cover it next Thursday, unfortunately. I don't have time to. It wouldn't download and it would cause problems. I think that is it. Yeah, I think that was the amount of games. But then obviously we had these two games in question for the Switch, which we do have on Steam as well, so we can go through those. And if anybody wants to see certain settings, we can do that. But what I'm thinking is that we start with one of these games first on Steam Deck. Wait, where'd they go? This one. And I think we should start with Tormented Souls 2. If anybody likes horror, this is a great horror game. This is very reminiscent of Resident Evil. The original one was on like the Switch and PC and all of that. And it was received very well. It's a good game. Definitely fun. Is it working? Is the RPG thing running? It must be. It's throwing messages. That's cool. Okay. So, yeah, I'm thinking we should probably start with this because I haven't even seen that. I'm excited to take a look at it. And I have it downloaded on both the Legion Go and the Steam Deck, but let's make it simple and let's just go with Steam Deck right now. Maybe we can do that. Probably not because it's going to be stubborn. Let me just change an HDMI cable here. Actually, that HDMI is just fine. So that is running through there. So the only thing it could be is that it's not picking it up yet. So give me a second to see if we can get that. to activate. All right, is it going to work for us? There we go. I just didn't like the signal. I don't try to mess with this too much, but throughout the day or throughout the week, it ends up being that I do have to change things out. So every once in a while, like a ratio or like a size will get screwed up. It's good. Benevolent Beetle's back to the dungeon. Okay, cool. We should be good to go with there. Let me just make sure the controller's going to work. And yeah, we'll run this on the Steam Deck. We'll take a look at it and see how it does. I think it'll be actually really decent because the team did a good job the last time. So I'm going to shut that music down. There we go. We'll fire this up. Now, we'll also take a look at these games if you want on the kind of real view camera. So if you want to see it directly run. And that's probably going to be most relevant the for the Switch 2 kind of Steam Deck comparison, because I know that's been a hot button on what settings you choose. I'm trying to go with like the base stuff. Yeah, you kind of bounce around with different characters in the little micro stream RPG. It's kind of funny. But yeah, it's hard to imagine the idea. Everybody believes something different. Some people like XESS from Intel, and you know, I get that there's some of that, but AMD is a little bit more efficient on the battery, so you actually get a better experience in terms of length of time to play. Then there's the whole idea of, well, set it all to low settings, do default settings, so low settings to get better FPS. Default settings is what kind of the developer says is the best thing. And there's a range of like every little change in between that people are going to have that they feel is the best. And then there's the side of the house in terms of, oh, well, you go download this program or you go and, change this aspect, which is totally different than just picking something up and starting to play it, right? So when you're comparing, I guess, Switch to Steam Deck, you want to compare as close as you can an apples to apples, right? Just so people have an understanding of like what they're getting into. You can always change anything on PC. I mean, we know that, except unless you're playing Cold Fear, which is pretty much just stuck as a console port brought over straight to PC. Let's see. We're going to go with English. Okay, let me switch this screen around for a second. I'm not hearing audio right now. Are we even getting audio? I don't know where the audio is. They just sent this over last night. I got home around 1 in the morning and I saw this demo was sent over through Press Engine, I think it was. But I don't hear anything. Oh no, it's there. Why am I not hearing it? Oh, now I hear it. I was just down too low. Hey, Jesse, how are you? Metroid Prime or Dusk Bloods comes out, you'll have to consider Switch 2. Oh, yeah, the new AR glasses that'll be for that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely, obviously I would buy, because I cover this stuff, I would buy pretty much any of these items, because I really do enjoy it. I think I like to see, how they run on every system. And I like messing around with the testing. I've actually looked into like frame cap machines and not machines, but like frame cap hardware and stuff like that to be able to like give a little bit more detail. I don't really even know the cost, but I don't know if I'd have the time. That's the problem. Like Digital Foundry and those guys do a really good job. Now they don't do every game, and I think I do a little bit more games than they ever have. But in terms of like, kind of running through like putting 1,100 videos up of games, I don't think they do that because it doesn't. You don't have the time to do that, and they do a deep, deep dive on very specific things. So I don't know if even if I had that equipment, if I could do anything near what they do. So I don't really worry about it. I looked into it, but it just doesn't make too much sense. Okay, so let's choose new game, and let's just go with standard. Now be ready. I mean, they have obviously sent out a demo that's a very early game, so it may not be the perfect game. I just want to make sure that this is all coming through, or is it still? There we go. I didn't even mess with settings. We're getting 12 frames per second, so it's again a demo. It's not optimized. I don't know. Maybe they have it on super high. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's stop it real fast. Let's take a look at settings. I just fired it up thinking like, oh, the last game ran 60, no problem. So let's fire it back up. It didn't have to change anything for Proton, which is good. So it's basically going to run right out of the gate, but it may be a little bit more demanding than the last version. Let's just say that. Which that would make sense, right, as they go. But if you do like original, like Resident Evil style games where you had fixed cameras and you have somewhat tank controls, I don't think they have exact tank controls. They do support some options from what I remember. A lot of the newer games do. Then you'll enjoy these types of games. This company has done a really good job, PQ, on this franchise so far for their first outing. So, all right, let's see what controls do we have. What things can we mess with? So, yeah, they had it for like some ultra settings and some things that we can probably turn down. So they had TSR, shadow quality. Let's move that down to medium because we are on the Steam Deck. If we were on the 4090, I don't think we'd have to worry about any of this, but let's give it a chance to. And I'm going to turn the resolution down to about 80%. Everything's off. Okay. Full screen. Should be good. What am I hiding over, though? Hold on. Nope, nothing. Okay, cool. Let's try it now. Let's see what it does with some adjustments. Because, I mean, again, I didn't have a chance to try it out late last night, so this is the first time running it, and that just seemed very poor. 30s, 40s. Obviously, it wouldn't be optimized either. 14 frames per second. Well, let's get through the video. The actual game may be much better. I'm going to jump off screen. I'm actually going to make a cup of coffee since we were talking about it. I'll be right back.
okay? What are you drawing?
I don't know. They just popped in my head. What's wrong?
Nothing. Nothing's wrong. Or nothing that a stay at a fancy wellness retreat won't fix. Am I right?
Hello.
Okay, just in time.
Sister Angelica. Are you
Don't have to pour water.
Caroline Walker.
Ah, then this little one must be your sister. Hello, Anna.
So in the first one, that woman with the patch, she's the protagonist. She ended up like waking up in a tub of ice and in this like insane asylum, and she had to, figure out like how to get out of there. And there's a lot of things, you don't want to ruin the story, but I mean that's kind of like where she started out with. She was missing an eye and in a bathtub full of ice, normal stuff on the weekends.
And the crucifix here was carved by a single piece of marble by a local sculptor. Can I just say how very happy I am to finally have you with us? Isabella has told us all about you. Especially you, little one. You are a very special girl.
Anna's been through a lot.
That
Takes her a while
Anna
to
looks like an
people.
older not an old person, but I mean like an older girl
Soon,
in a kid's frame, right? Like her face looks old.
the convent isn't too far now.
Not nitpicking. It just like strikes me when I see it. I thought she was a little bit older than. They make her seem like she's like a small child. I thought on the train when I first saw like a image from across in the kitchen, I thought it was actually like an
Put your
adult.
luggage in here. You must have had a tiring journey. Why don't you get some rest before dinner?
No, I feel fine. How about you, Anna? Oh, okay. Maybe we could do with a nap.
I'll come back in a few hours and take you to meet the other new arrivals.
Come on, sleepyhead. Lay down.
I don't know when this game is set to come out. Is it in October
This place
or
smells
September?
old. You said it was gonna be a bougie little health spa.
Let me see.
When can we go back to Canada?
Come on. We're only booked for a short stay, Anna. It'll fly by.
Tormented Souls 2 will be out
You want to feel better, right? Isabella says
sometime in 2025. I would have to imagine they're going to target like before Halloween or October,
I suppose.
Yes.
but it doesn't have a date at all. Nor a price. The last one, not sure what it started off with, but I think it was around $29, $39, something like that.
Fine.
But it's come down considerably. It's like $20. And usually on sale, I think it's way cheaper than that. Okay, now we might get a chance to see some gameplay and kind of get this get a better understanding of the performance.
Anna,
Another game that I'm going to do for
Anna,
the Switch 2
where are you?
and Steam Deck comparison videos is No Man's Sky. They actually have done a lot of work. That's the first third-party developer I've seen that actually has done some work on their Switch stuff. But they normally do. And then that's not, that was like an original game that they're now turning and making it look, or making it run on the Switch 2. And then I think we're going to do Hitman Assassin, World of Assassinations, I think it is. Yeah. I have that one as well on PC. So, yeah, you can see fixed camera angles. You do have tank controls if you use the D-pad. So you can spin in circles and do all that stuff. But then you also have kind of 3D controls if you use the analog. So that kind of works the same way on the Steam. I'm using, obviously a controller, but to run the Steam Deck, but it does work on both. So that's kind of nice. That's more than, like, even Onimusha did that too, right? They adjusted it that way. Don't have time to look in the trunk. It makes it a little bit easier using the tank controls to navigate from screen or camera transition to camera transition. It's going to be a dark game, isn't it? I'm going to have to turn the brightness up a little bit because I can barely see, and I think that would make it just as tough for you guys to even see it. HDR is off, right? Great. They don't have gamma controls. Yeah, that's super dark. Let me just check one thing on there. Yeah, it's cranked up. I mean, they are dark games, that's for sure. This one's even more dark than that. Okay, she needs to go towards this, so let's go down this way. HDR is not turned on because the card does support it, but I actually don't have it capturing at that because it screws things up for streams. But man, is that dark. I can't see where to go. I think that's the way we came. Maybe we gotta go this way. Oh, end of hallway. So maybe this way. Yeah, this looks right. I mean, the game runs really smooth, and it's right around 40. So that's not too bad. Again, most developers don't think of the Steam Deck when they're developing. They'll look at it after the fact, but
That's my sister. Take your hands off her.
I don't think they spend a lot of time focused on like making it run on Steam Deck at this point in time. Like, it's the best possible performance.
There must be no violence here.
That is one of the reasons why I think the Switch 2 is important. Because Switch 2,
I don't think she's gonna be too pleased when she
at the level we're talking about, is comparable,
I am
probably a little more powerful, because it's brand new. And it will benefit all games moving forward if developers are supporting that.
only to
So it'll be nice to kind of see if we get a better focus on portable devices just because the Switch 2 is a larger name. I mean, Switch 2, from what I know, sold roughly about 3.5, probably close to 4 million units already. That's really a massive amount. I mean, Steam Deck, that's probably half of the Steam Deck in 3 years. Steam Deck's probably like between 5 and 8 million, I think, somewhere in there. So let's say if it's 4, 50% have been sold in 4 days versus 3 years for the Steam Deck.
Getting out of here.
But you can't.
Makes it tough to argue.
Your grandfather Noah.
But it should benefit Steam Deck.
You belong to us.
This woman always has trouble being captured by people.
Please.
That was like an underwater scene, wasn't it? And then it disappeared. She always wakes up this way. This is like all the time. What has she got going on? They put spark plugs on her. Now, in the original game, at the very beginning, she wakes up and she's actually naked. So they've changed their approach on this, I guess. Maybe because of Nintendo and some others. Although Nintendo didn't shy away from that. In Cyberpunk 2, you know, you can definitely see like nude bodies and stuff like that. So, you know, CD Projekt Red did not change the way they handle things. Boy, that's grainy, isn't it? Like it says vomits.
I feel sick. What the hell did they do to me? Anna?
This is
Where
normal.
are you? Anna? Can you hear me? Anna!
And just like the last time, she finds her clothes somewhere near her. She's all suited up and geared up. Okay. Yeah, the game's going to be dark. I mean, we're getting 30 frames, and we've got it on, what, medium settings? Curious, can we go in and make any changes? Just wondering how, like if we throw it onto low, we've got an 80% resolution. Let's just do this. Let's just drop some stuff down. Is there anything below low? No. I'm just wondering if you take it all the way down to the lowest, and let's actually do about 70% scale. You could go as low as 50. 50 would be probably like FSR, you know, performance, ultra performance mode. That'd be my guess. So let's do that. And let's just see. Oh my God. Yeah, it is running 60, but it's got a lot of like stuff going on. Really low. But yeah, it is running 60, so it's not unsurprising. I mean, that's kind of like where you could get it to. Let's do this. Let's bring up the not that this is really important right now. Testing the resolutions and all that stuff is really not a big concern for a demo, but let's just turn anti-aliasing all the way off. Yeah, now you've got it 30 easy. Or 60 easy. Okay. Now let's start to bring some stuff back up. So the resolution scale, let's bring it up to 70. Now we're in the 40s. Let's go back. And let's toy around with TAA. Okay, there we go. 30s. The resolution is what did we do? Did we go to 70? 70. Let's go back down to 50. Okay, there's 55. 50 some frame rates. It's just really dark. I wish I could turn it up, but I don't think I can. Okay, let's see. Can we get out of here? Or are we locked in? We're locked in. We need a key. So we need to find that key. Oh, medicine. She can't use medicine, but she's hurt. Oh. What the hell are they doing to me in this place? Man, it is really dark. Nothing. I'm going to use the 3D control. Oh, there we go. Holy Bible. Now, let's see that Holy Bible. Can we look at it? There we go. Examine. It's locked. One of the nails is missing. Blood. I don't know if we'll find. Salvation is the teachings of the Bible. Yep. Nothing there. Use. No, nothing. Oh, wait, what is this? I was going to say, what is... It's trying to, like... I thought we needed a key. It was trying to, like, say, like, oh, use this on here, but there's nothing to use. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything to get us out of the room. Oh, there's another back room. I couldn't even see it because it's so dark. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to turn the graphics up a little bit because it's hard enough to see with it being so dark. So let's see. What can we maybe move this up to? Actually, TAA was fine. Let's go up to medium. Let's go up to 8. Okay, that's a little bit better. And it's right around 30. So, I mean, I think they'll be able to optimize it easily because they did the last one. It ran just fine. Nothing. Well, thumbtack. I bet we use that on the Bible. Examine. Oh, let's do this. Examine. Combine. There we go. So yeah, kind of like Resident Evil style. God. That unlocks that, and we get our key. Good. Now we can get out of here. Let's see. Back this. Was there anything in here other than the thumbtack? Yep, that's it. Out the door. Yeah, I can see it a little bit better, but not much. It's still really dark. Hey, Paul, how are you? Welcome. How's things going? There we go. Now we can get out. Okay, cool. Wait, no, it can be used here. Do not let shadows embrace you, okay? It would be nice if we had a light. I think she does carry a flashlight around with her. Or something. A lantern, flashlight. I like the design of the game. I like the time period and the art. I can't even see what's going on. It is pitch black on my end. I can't see. I have no idea. I think something is attacking me, but I can't see it. It is pitch black. Is there no way that we can bump that up? I'm pretty sure that the Steam Deck is set. Does it even have extra settings? Let's just see. Yeah, the brightness is all the way up. But that's only for the screen brightness. It has nothing to do with the actual, like, external display brightness. Is it, like, thinking it's doing that? I don't think this will do anything, but we'll try. I mean, it did a little. I guess it did a little bit. I can at least see a little bit better, but yeah, there's no in-game control. I can't believe that, really? HDR's off, full screen. They just want it to be dark as hell. Let's try that one more time. I'm going to crank it all the way up. That SDR for HDR or whatever is helping a little bit, but not a lot. Oh, there it was. Okay, I'm going to go off screen really fast just to see what we're at. Okay, there we go. I mean, it's a little bit better. It's also the fact that it's an OLED screen that I play on. God, okay, let's try to go get that key. Well, we need the Bible, which is in here. Yeah, I don't think it's much better. It's not really. I see some ghosting now, which is weird. I didn't see it when we had the brightness down really far. Okay, got the thumbtack. I don't even know if I'll be able to see what was attacking us. Something was. Now this is where the LCD on the Switch 2 would work. Because you could at least see it. OLEDs, man, they make it tough to see sometimes if there's not this separate resolution adjustment that you can do. Okay, let's look at this, examine, combine. Get our key. Let's see if we can get out and see what this thing is that's attacking us. Okay, cool. And let's grab this. And then we'll probably jump off of this because we don't have a lot of time. If we can't get out through here. But the demo it should be available. I think it's available for everybody now. So you can just go over, jump on Steam and download this Tormented Souls 2 demo. I mean, I can see a little bit better, but it still is difficult. Oh my God. Stay out of there. Whatever in the hell that is. Shelf full of medicines she can't use, although she's hurt. Yeah, there's no light or anything like that. That candle would do if we could take that candle. Nope. She does know how to wire electricity because she did it in the first one. Yeah, I have no idea what's over here. Like, I get into this one area and I can't see. Maybe if I turn the damn lights off. Nope. It doesn't help. I can't see. I can't see what's in there. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Maybe flashlight. Note. Nope. I don't know what's there. Maybe she's scared of the dark. Medical device. In that whole, it's like 3/4 of the screen is just pitch black. I can't see anything. Maybe it's meant to be that way. It just seems weird. Seems very strange that it is. And there's no options. It's unfortunately, I would probably like not complain about this, but it's unplayable. Like I can't see where to go. I don't know what to do. And if I had more time, I'd be happy to sit around and mess with it. But we don't really have a ton of time, and there's no options for turning anything up. I wouldn't even think like HDR would help in this scenario, right? There's nothing. Controls, keyboard, mouse, shadow quality. That's it, right? I'm not sitting on anything. Interact. No, I'm not. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a cool game. Like I said, the original one was really interesting. It was fun. It was a good experience. It wasn't as deep as like Resident Evil stuff, and that's funny to say Resident Evil, but I'd probably say Silent Hill is deeper than Resident Evil. It's none of that, and I'm sure this one will be very similar, but I just don't know where. I can't see anything because I can't adjust a little bit, just to even give it a little bit more brightness would help, like just a tad, so you could see around the corners. It's unfortunate, but I can't really determine what to do next. And we don't have a lot of time. So I would say keep an eye on it, check it out. As I said, the last one was very good. Yeah, whatever's killing me there, I don't know. The last one was very fun, and I think that this could be as well. It's just give you some idea of what's going on. Yeah. Okay. That's it for Tormented Souls 2. Appreciate everybody for checking that out with me. Do we want to take a look at... Let's see. Do we want to take a look? Does anybody want to see anything specific on the Switch 2? Yeah, it's definitely an interesting game, Paul. It's one of those ones where it's like a Resident Evil style. It's got fixed camera angles. It's just a little bit like it's not a budget title, so to speak. I wouldn't call them budget titles, but they're very similar to that. But it's got some interesting mechanics, got good gunplay and all of that. So yeah, I enjoyed the last one. I would hope that this one is just the same. Is there an internet issue? Because I see this micro Steam RPG or Stream RPG dropping and connecting again. What is going on? What is up here? Nothing crazy. The stream seems fine. I don't know. It's just having an issue. I'm going to shut it down for a second. We'll try firing it back up. Okay. So, yeah, if you want to see, we could take a look at Hogwarts running on the Switch. I do have it connected. We've done a lot of stuff. There's another video coming out of Cyberpunk, a Cyberpunk comparison. There was some requests to see like Cyberpunk running direct capture instead of direct capture off the Steam Deck and direct capture off the Switch 2. So I will be doing that later today or tomorrow. That's the tomorrow video. But in terms of Hogwarts, we could definitely check that one. And let's just take a look and see. We'll put it on so it's on a 4K screen or a 4K capture card. And it is outputting 4K. Now the stream is only in 720p, but this will actually be outputting in 4K. So it should look pretty good. Actually, I need to change it. There we go. So give it one sec. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is the latest version of Hogwarts Legacy, running at 4K, and this is on the Switch 2, and then we'll take a look at on the Steam Deck itself. So let's just make sure I've got all the settings correct. Let's see. Display, yeah, 4K 60. Now, does it output 4K 60? I'm not 100% sure. I've been trying to figure that out. I think it's outputting at like 4K 30. And it's upscaling to 4K. So it's just kind of like doing some extra work to do that. But let's just see what we get. Yeah, that thing's still disconnecting, reconnecting over and over again. I'm going to shut this down. Sorry, we'll get micro stream RPG figured out. It's just crashing left and right. Okay. That. I just put the video out yesterday. So we should be somewhere outside of Hogwarts in the open world. That's actually what I'm going to do. Let's do that. Okay, cool. And I think it was under this one. Oops. I hate Nintendo on that, like switching between like A and B. So strange. Why they decided like, oh no, we want A to be here and B to be here, versus like Xbox, it's like, no, let's flip A to be here and B to be. Come on, people. Okay, yeah, we're outside of Hogwarts. Now, this again on the Switch 2, and this is the Switch 2 version.
I had planned to extend an invitation to you myself.
So, to me, I mean, automatically it's not running, I don't think it's running 60. It's definitely running 30. And if I look at the capture device, let's just see what it's outputting. It should be 4K. It should be upscaling, or it should do upscale and then drop it back down.
I believe you.
Though I suppose you would not really call it elective when your mother was the one who elected that you take it.
Oh, it's because it's recording. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording real fast. Yeah, so, I mean, what the capture card is seeing is that this is outputting at 4K 60 FPS. But the game data, or what the game looks like, it does not look like 60. It looks like 30. And I'm curious to what the upscaling's doing, and because I don't find it hard to believe that they have 4K assets in here, but I find it hard to believe that they can run it on the Switch. And they could, you know, they possibly could at 4K.
Beautiful this time of year. Everyone will tell you to visit
4K 30.
But that's one of the few times of year.
So that's why I'm thinking it's all
be indoors.
tech, like running it in the background.
Oh, I do not mind the cold so much.
Let's go down by the
It
water.
is
That's where I
half
took
taken
that one
from getting
video.
used to. I did not grow up around snow.
There's this nice little waterfall right over here. Yeah, I wish we could get a better idea of something close. Like a close-up of him. Yeah. I mean, it's serviceable. I mean, it definitely is. There's no doubt about that. It's just the game running at 4K, and unfortunately, I don't think I have Hogwarts on the big PC. We could look at it at a 4K resolution as well. But let's go down by the water really fast. She wants me to look at something. I'm still not in the... I mean, we're in the open world, but we're not free roaming. We don't have that freedom yet.
Had been spotted nearby.
There it is. The draw distance. Yeah, you can see things being drawn in as we go. It's not surprising. Okay, so we're by the water. The water looks really nice. I mean, they've done a pretty good job with reflections and, you know, the transparent highlights and stuff like that. It did look better than on the Steam Deck itself when I was looking at it on the LCD. But it's not... Oh, going too far. But there's no real, like, real-time reflection going on. And that was one of the things in, like, Cyberpunk that I ended up showing was, like, it actually does do reflections of, like, backgrounds and stuff like that. Not ray tracing, but they've got a pretty good job there with the performance you're getting. And then, like, on the Steam Deck to get the same one, it can be a little challenging. You can make it happen, but it fluctuates a little bit. It's not always steady 30 with the Steam Deck settings that the developers have put out there. Yeah, so let's leave that run for a second. Let me see if I have... well, we could definitely switch over here, and we could run the Steam Deck at the same time. Give me 1 sec to build a screen here so we can take a look at that. And we can kind of see both of them running. And I'll put the Steam Deck, like, have it run 60 frames per second as well. Again, like I said, I don't think you're going to see that actually work. Let's build a different scene, though. Let's do new scene, and then let's just basically take the live scene, this, and then that, this, all of these. There we go. And then this. There we go. We've seen one. Boom. There. Good. So now, actually, let's get rid of these because these are no good. Nope. Just delete. Don't want to remove 6. I just want it to go away. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Right there. Yes, remove that. Remove that. And remove this. Okay, cool. Now we've got it. One more. It was going to drag down the performance of the streaming PC. Okay, so now let's build our thing. We're going to take... Unfortunately, I just thought about this. I don't have two 4K captures. So let's bring them down to 1080p each. I think that's a fair comparison. 4K would be tough for the Steam Deck. It would definitely be. I don't think it could do it. If it did, it would be like really bad. So let's do that. This one. Move that up here. And then this. Down to here. And we'll try to make some adjustments.
Sebastian took that dueling loss rather gamely.
Something like that. That'll work for now. Okay, so let me fire it up on the Steam Deck. And again, to make it fair, I'm going to basically tell the Switch to go down to 1080p. There we go. It doesn't have a fit. I do need to get another 4K capture card. I haven't done that in a while. Upgraded those, so I'm using very old ones. Except for the one that the Switch is on. The Switch can, the card that I have for the Switch there can do 4K. Do another little bit here. Cool. Okay, so we'll probably get into the same area. Oh, you know what? First I need to make an adjustment though. Give me one sec. We need to tell the Switch to output to 1080p. Where is that? Just colors, field of view. Did I jump right over it? Is it under system? It might be under system then. I know it's here somewhere. General. Yeah, I thought it was right here. Oh, minimum. There we go. Let's see. 1080p. And we're going to do 1080p because that's what the card can capture at. Okay. So it is custom. Let me just make sure. It's showing signal outside of range. Let me... Oops. I don't know why it's moving it. Let me do one more thing here. Is that there's a setting for like safety, external display, safe mode. No, that's turned off. It should be there. Let's do this. We'll go in And we'll force this one to be 1080p. Game resolution. 1920 by 1080p. Okay. So, it'll be interesting to see what it does when it flips that. Oh, no, wait. That's wrong. That's not what it is. It's this one. It is. It's forcing it to output at 720 for some reason. Let's do this. Let's try it in game. If I can force it that way. I don't know. I haven't messed with the Steam Deck higher than 720p in a while. Okay, let's do windowed. And let's go... (1920 by 1080). But it still could be outputting at 720p. It's just like... It's like the dock doesn't want to see it in any other resolution. Yeah, that is weird. Because the dock, it should be seeing it at 1080p, but it's not. Okay, I'm going to deactivate and reactivate it. Could be that. Signal out of range. Let me restart the unit. Let's see what we get. We're going to keep it forced to that. I'm just going to do like a full restart. And I'm also going to change it up here on this one. It could be that the capture card is just locking it. Okay. Let's see what we get now. Yeah, it's forcing it at 720p. I wonder, is that the way it's they've adjusted it now so it doesn't, you can't change it? Okay, let me try and do this again. Yeah, so it doesn't, this capture card is not seeing it at anything other than 720p. No matter what I tell the Steam Deck to do. Huh. That is really strange. I'm pretty sure it could do this before on a third party. I wonder if the Steam Deck dock... What does the Steam Deck dock output as? Give me one sec. It might only put out that resolution, but that seems weird. I don't think that's the case. Steam Deck dock output. Output. Let's just see. I'm curious. Because what I could see is that the Steam Deck dock only ever puts out 720, but you could like change the game. When not setting the game resolution from the game's properties, most games recognize the device as 1280 by 800. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Recommended method, straightforward. Go into the game's graphics settings, push it up to 1080p from 800 to 720. Some games... Yeah, so it must be the menu structure or the menu system must only be 720, but then you... That just doesn't make sense. I remember originally, before they made changes, that it could go higher than that. Okay, let me take a look here. So if we are saying that this is outputting there, it does, you put it on 1280 by 720 and it picks it up just fine, but 1080p it won't pick it up. It says it's out of range. Even if you're telling it like, hey, I want you to do this. You know what? I bet if it's anything, it could be over here under the Switch desktops. You might be able to configure it at this level and say, hey, output at a higher resolution on a known device like a monitor or something. Yeah, see, it says no signal there. It's trying to flip over. I can see it up here, but I can't see it down here. So I bet that's what it did. So on desktop mode, it is actually outputting. Let me read it real fast. At 1920 by 1080. So when you're in game mode, you can only do up to 720 no matter what. But when you're doing it from the desktop mode, you can go higher. Okay, so that makes sense. Let me start. What we're going to do is start Hogwarts from potentially here, from desktop mode. That way we get a sure 1-to-1. had to close something out. All right, let me find it. Okay. Now let me change the resolution on this one. See if I'm right. Yep, that's what it did. There it is. So that's a true 1920 by 1080. Now, I hope the controllers still work. It does. Good. Okay. So we don't have our info on the screen, unfortunately. So we kind of lose out on that. But let's go in and like get us to the kind of the same place. I think it was this one. And then we'll adjust some settings and things like that. Because right now it should be default settings. It should be basically whatever it defaults to. And it's really hard to see, unfortunately. I'm going to have to blow it up. Actually, no, I might be able to do this. Just size all this stuff down, make it bigger on my screen. Yeah, a bit hard to see, but it'll work. No, it won't. Let me blow it up. Much better. And let's just hide the Steam Deck, or the Switch 2 for a second. There we go. All right, so let's get the settings in place. So right now we have it as windowed, but let's do full screen. Or at least windowed full screen. So we got 1920 by 1080. Good. These are, again, all default settings. Everything that it has here should be basically what you would have if you just turned the game on. Everything is recommended low. I don't even think there's a Steam. That's recommended, but let's see. No, there's not a Steam Deck like there is on the other one, on Cyberpunk. Okay, so let's get. So this should be still at 30 frames per second. Well, I don't know because it's 1920 by 1080. Let's get kind of in the same area. All right, so now shrink this down a little bit. Went to sleep. I think it did. Where'd it go? No, that's the Legion Go. Sorry. There we go. That's the one. There we go. So these are at least comparable in terms of resolution and default settings and everything like that. And it's kind of a sunny day in both. What's interesting is the field of view is far closer on the Switch 2. It's about right. Something like that. That's the same thing. So if we were to go in, can I adjust the field of view? We've got it locked to 30. Field of view. There we go. I don't know how close it's going to be. Let's see. Needs to be all the way up, it seems. So that would be number one, how you could potentially improve your frame rate. Because if you're not having to draw everything and you're doing like draw in later, that would probably help. Let's see. Let's just crank it all the way up. I think that's what they've done. That's not what they've done. It's a little bit lower, but... Or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. Where was it? Plus 20. I was curious. Let's turn it all the way down. It's a little bit closer, but still. I mean, unless I've got it in a different position. See how close it is on his cape? Like, you can't even see the bottom of his feet. We're closer. Let's see. What's the other thing they're doing? .1080p. So we're using FSR, but that wouldn't have anything to do with that. Motion blur. It's really hard to see that. I'm going to move it up here. I can't tell what it's saying. There we go. So small. Depth of... I wouldn't think. It's hard to believe. Yeah, the field of view, like moving it one way or the other. I mean, you can see more of the trees, right? Like it's definitely a field of view, like out and like you can see where trees are and stuff like that. If I move it in without changing the camera, that tree, that main tree in the center, will be closer to the top of the screen. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's crank it all the way down again. Oh, it wasn't all the way down. But the tree should be closer to the top of this. Yeah, see, the tree's now like above the center, or above the top of the screen. So they've definitely cranked up the field of view even beyond what it is on the PC. Or, well, they've narrowed the field of view even beyond what the PC can do for the game. So they have made adjustments that I think are in the actual PC version. There we go. And then, is there anything else? View distance, it's already on low. Retracing's off. Yeah, everything is set to super low. There's nothing else that I can see that would adjust that. Yeah, so I've got it, well, probably closer than what they do. No, it's about the same. I mean, maybe he's a little bit more. It's just much closer up on him. I can't even see that. Oh no, let's see if we can get another angle. Maybe it's something different we need to see. Oh, I know what. Here, let's just stand right by this pedestal. Right here. Right where that note is.
That's the Forbidden Forest on the left. It's off limits to students, as the name implies.
Why is it off limits?
The professors claim it is too dangerous. I think that calling it forbidden only makes it more alluring.
I don't think there's a way to zoom in
Past that ruin.
beyond that. It's like there's not... No, I can't get his legs to get out of the frame. It was definitely zoomed in closer. Although... I think we're slightly a little more... The field of view is slightly narrower than it should be to be comparable to it. But it definitely is a closer view of his shoulder. Like it's like you don't see his feet or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know how to make that camera move. To get it in any closer. I don't think there's a way. Right? There's not like a first person mode and you can draw it in closer. That's about it. I wish we could have the frame rate. Oh, I can't even move Harry anymore. What happened? Or not Harry Potter, but there he goes. He's moving now. I don't have a frame counter on here. Well, actually, Steam does. Can I turn Steam's on? Probably not, because I'm in this menu. We'd have to cut out. All right, let's see. At least give us something to see what the Steam Deck is doing. I'm going to have to cut it out. It's going to be hard to see this way. Let's just go back to the live screen. We'll just bounce back and forth. We'll do it this way. So there's our 4090, and here's our Steam Deck. Oh, I know why. Since it's redone, I got to resize it. Since we made changes. There we go. Time is it? Almost 11:30. God, already. We only got through like 2 games today. I was just curious more along the lines of this game. I'll make sure to have Stellar Blade and everything next Thursday, and we'll prepare, because it won't be as running around as much with that other work, I don't think. All right, let's see. Outpost settings. Okay, cool. Let's exit out. And there is an FPS counter in Steam. Let's see if we can open that. Do I have a way to control the mouse? Oh, you know what? No, probably wouldn't do it. We'll just run big picture mode inside of SteamOS the way we have it set up. This will make it easier to navigate. All right, so we should have. We have a way to do that. Storage, remote family, in-game, FPS counter. There we go. And we'll have it at the top left. Okay, cool. All right, that should help. That'll give us at least some idea of what at 1080p the Steam Deck's going to do at a true 1080p, not like anything that we can't verify before we start it up. Oh, what's going on? Oh, it's in the background somewhere, isn't it? There it goes. Okay, 42 frames. Okay, now we can see it. It's harder to see. That's why I blew it up. Okay. And of course, we have a mouse. What is that? Now, I'd probably lock it at least 30. Okay, so although it's not exactly equal, it's 1080p on default settings running 30 frames per second. Now, if we go in and take off the 30 frames per second, well, I think that's fine. Actually, 30 frames per second is fine. Let's now switch back to the other screen. So we know that we can tell if we have to, like we can move it around and switch back and forth to make sure. But both are running at 30 FPS. Well, locked to 30. But the Switch is definitely doing something different where they have a tighter fit this way. Right? Because you don't see his legs or the bottom of his cape. Even though I've tried to get it as close as possible to that, I can't reproduce the same field of view that they have there. That's about the same. So you can see a little bit more tree on theirs. Yeah, it's interesting how so it would be more like that. The one on the Steam Deck is almost in like a widescreen mode versus something different that they're doing. So we know that the Steam Deck is running at 30 FPS. It does look like the Switch is running a little higher. It's hard to tell though. It's not 60. But there's less ghosting for sure. But that's because it's set to default. So let's see what we can push the Steam Deck up to. Oops, I need to go back to this one. Get out of here, whoever you are. Let me block that. Let's do this. So we're trying to stay at 30 FPS. Well, actually, let's do this. Let's take it off of lock 30, and let's see what it does without it locked first, and then we'll go in. We'll lock it back down. Okay, I'm just going to say, like, go all the way up to 60 if you want to do that. So 57, 60. Okay, 30, 40, somewhere in there. I mean, maybe this Switch is running at like 50, something like that. It's all that damn motion blur, I tell you. Let me go back down here. Where's our scene? So this is back to where we were. So we know that we can get this up to 40s, 37 to 40. But yeah, this does, I mean, the Switch does look a little bit smoother. My hair. Like I said, I'd say it's a little bit higher. I don't know if it's 60 though. So, let's see what we can do with the Steam Deck now, though. So we know where it's at. Let's go in and try to lock it to 30, but really bring up the graphics quality a little bit. I always go the different way each time. Okay, here we go. At 1080p. So, let's put this on medium. No. And let me get off screen. That automatically made the menus look a hell of a lot better. So everything's set to medium. So it'll draw in. And it definitely brought it closer to 30. But you can still see that FSR, that ghosting around his hat. When you do that, you can definitely tell. It's probably hard for you to see at 720p, but I can see like ghosting from his like hat, like his hat is especially. Like it almost looks like there's three of them. We're gonna have to turn FSR off and put something else on to get rid of that, because that's what's happening there. Pretty sure. Let's see. Everybody says Intel XS. Let's go with that. Do I have to do anything to apply that? No. The pedal's like running behind. It's better, but I still see it. And it's actually running lower than what the FSR was. FSR was like 30 to 32. This is running 28 to 30. But you still see that ghosting. So to get rid of that, we'd have to turn it off. I bet that'll remove it all. But that means we probably have to turn everything down too. No, we don't want NVIDIA. Let's just turn it off altogether. So no upscaling at all. Oop. Must be the motion blur. Is that really it? I've never seen motion blur that bad. Or I've never noticed it that bad. Let's turn that off. No, it's not. It's still there. You see, you get a bunch of Harry Potters or whatever he is, whatever character. What is causing that? Where could we get rid of that? Anti-aliasing? Turn that up. Turn that back on. And it's set to 60. Let's see if we can get rid of it, though. Okay, that got rid of it. Okay, anti-aliasing got rid of it. Upping that. So that's one thing. So let's turn... Let's go back in and turn the favorited XCSS on. Let's see if we can get to 30. 20s. Just got rid of that. 20, 24, something like that. That motion blur is rough, man. I hate motion blur. Okay, now his feet are gone. We're closer. Let's go back to the other one. Wake up. It's close. Actually, it should be a little bit more there. Still a little bit wider. Still get a little bit more of the height is still different. Okay, let's switch back. Oh no, I'm going to toy around with this until we can get it close. If we were to go up in resolution anymore, or like quality, maybe we can try. Let's go up to high. It's obviously a combination of a bunch of stuff. So it's going to be hard to work that out. Okay. It's applied. What else did we have? Ultra quality plus, so we could probably drop this down to balanced. Upscale. Frame rate. Image calibration. Field of view is as tight as we can get it in. Let's turn on that depth of field really fast. Okay, let's see what we get now. So this is high settings, balanced. Takes a little bit of time for everything to load. Okay, now let's go to the other one. You can see we've got foliage that popped up that is not in the Switch version. So there's a little bit more detail than probably the Switch has. Oop, stay where you're at. Thicker grass. It's our FPS. 23, 24. So we need to get rid of some of the foliage for sure. There's some things popping up in this version. Because again, with PC, if you're running, you know, the highest end PC build, you could throw a lot more stuff into it, but it's probably going to be under foliage quality. Population quality. I don't know if that's population of people or everything. It's just people. Okay. Textures, shadow, process, foliage quality, the density. Yeah, so this would need to go down. Probably to medium. Oh, that's right. I've got to apply it. Is that the bottom one? It is. Okay. Let's see if we can get rid of that plant that's in front of us. That's still there. Okay, let's go down to low. This is like really nitpicky. Trying to get exactly what the Switch has to like what the Steam Deck has. Go low. Let's see what it says. There may be things that we can't take away. Maybe that they've got it. Like I said, that yeah, it's still there. The draw distance, or not the draw distance, but the view that they're using is not doable in the Switch or in the PC build. Like the Switch 2 has a very specific field of view. I can't replicate that. And I can't get rid of, unless something else is controlling the amount. Let's put it back down to low. Let's go back to low. And I just want to see if that stuff is there or if it's like there's actually foliage that we can't get rid of in the game. Yeah, there's just things that don't exist in the Switch version. Like this is the lowest, isn't it? Let's just verify that. Because it looks almost identical. Yeah. The lowest, the low quality settings, global across, everything's turned down. And there's just things that are in the PC version that are not there in the Switch. Just like that plant on the right. Like here, if we switch back. It doesn't exist in the Switch 2. That little plant there, whatever, all that foliage under behind the bridge doesn't exist in the Switch version. So there's things like that. They've taken out a lot that it doesn't have to render or even worry about. Plus the field of view is tighter on the Switch 2. I mean, maybe they are getting 60, but we're not doing too bad here on the Steam Deck at 1080p. And there's far more unique detail in the Steam Deck than there is in the Switch. Let's just go down a little bit. We'll just change the view a little bit and just see. Let's go down by the water. Actually, that's a good point. Let's go down here. Can he get down there? No. Yeah. Be in the water. We just have to know where we're at. Like something to look at. Okay, cool. That'll be good. All right, let's see if we can get the same thing. The character detail, like I said, probably because the field of view is closer on him. Let me see. It's hard to do it with that rock. I don't even know if I can get that rock to do the same thing. Wait, where am I standing? Yeah, see, like that's... The model is smaller or something like that. There we go. Okay, well maybe it is fine. Maybe I can replicate it. Right about there, but he needs to be facing a little bit more towards us. Okay, that's close. And what are we getting? 40 frames per second, something like that. There it is. I guess I should have it like Switch 2's up here. Steam Deck is here. Both 1080p. 40, what did we say, 40? Is that what it was? Yeah, 39 frames per second. Unknown here, but probably close. Maybe 50. Maybe a little bit better. Let me just check and make sure HDR is turned off on the Steam Deck. It looks a little dark to me. But it does have its own unique weather. So it might be that it is actually darker in the game right now. Yeah, HDR is off. And I'm pretty sure it's off over here as well. Let's just check. Oops, wrong thing. Motion blur's on. Let's turn motion blur. Oh, depth of field. Let's turn both of these off. Image calibration. Okay, let's adjust the sliders. Yeah, we should probably do this on both. This might help a little bit in terms of that. Barely visible. That's barely visible right about there. Okay. And then we turned off motion blur. I hate motion blur. Makes it look ugly. Okay, much brighter. Let's do that on the Steam Deck as well. Although I didn't mind it being as dark. Like HDR does make it look better on this Switch 2, for sure. What was it? We were turning off motion blur and depth of field. And then we did an image calibration. So let's do the same thing here. Right about there. So actually a little bit higher. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, what do we get? I've got to flip over just so I can see the... So again, we're sitting at 40 frames per second, 38, 39. It's moving a little bit on the Steam Deck version at 1080p. And this is with XESS on. Oh, wrong button again. Now, they are using NVIDIA's tech, obviously. So I think it's only right if we go in, we put on AMD FSR3 with frame gen. Let's just try it. It doesn't usually do too much for it. But let's just see what we get. So it's set at balanced, but let's put it on quality since we've got frame gen running. It really like does some stuff to the water. You can see that. What's the frame rate? 4850, something like that. Okay. So we know we're at about 50. But look at the water. The water looks really funky on the Steam Deck. Like it doesn't look as bad in the back, but it does up close. It definitely loses some detail. Although it's probably close. I mean, they probably are running at like somewhere around 40 to 50 frames per second. See if we can spin the camera now, just get an idea. So look at the capes move. Of course, there's no wind. But we can at least see kind of the water. Doesn't look as bad there. It definitely doesn't have... It's darker in the game, though. It's hard to get these games to... Like, it's nighttime for some reason in the game. They definitely don't align. There's reflections and all that. That's all gone. I think. And there's some reflection, but it's very muddled in comparison. I don't know if turning that... Let's turn that off. I mean, honestly, if you can get this, there's not really... It's not bad. I mean, if I owned Steam Deck and that's all I had, I would not be worried. I've got a wrong problem, or I've got the wrong device, right? Yeah, we've got it on quality. Let's just... Oops, let's go back. Hold on. God, I get this thing flying all over the place. I mean, they're both serviceable. Let's turn this off again. I mean, I don't think if we put it on NVIDIA, it would give us anything, so let's just turn it off. There's no upscaling. At this point. But I think you would have to have it to match it. So we're at 30 frames per second. A little bit. I wish it was more like... I wish it was brighter in game. I don't think I can change the time of day. There's like no way to do that in game, is there? Like you can't like wait in the game. You can do quests, outpost settings. Yeah. You can't like fast forward or anything. The time. It's definitely going to be a combination of other stuff, though. Like the water quality, that's probably the biggest thing I'm noticing. It looks different. And I'm not sure what water looks better. Like this, I think the Switch 2's water looks better right now. because you can kind of see through it. Here it's really hard to, but again, it's in the evening. It's dark. It's hard to tell like what it actually is. I guess best along the shore. The water along the shoreline looks better on the Steam Deck. That the Switch 2 looks more muddled than the Steam Deck when you look straight down on it, even though it's like nighttime versus daytime. I just wish I could control the clock. I mean, I think the Switch 2 or the Switch 2 looks decent, but they've done a lot of adjustments to it. In terms of like field of view is tighter. There's missing detail. They've taken things out, like certain foliage and stuff like that. I don't know. I think the Switch actually looks better, but it may not run at like 50 to 60 frames per second or whatever they're running at. Let's run back this way because it's going to time me out. I'm in an area in the story mode where it needs me to do something. That's why it's always daytime right now. Because it's open world, but it's not like free play where I can run anywhere. Yeah, like by the bridge, I can kind of see it because I think it's getting a little bit lighter, but let's run up here. Where is it? My guy's standing like right about. He's like right up against it. There definitely seems to be more detail in the Switch version, or the Steam Deck version. Because it is the PC. It's using the actual assets that you would use on your PC rig. Now, does that change a lot if I like turn on... Let's just go back in and turn on like FSR. What's it going to do? Or XESS. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just like curious. God, I keep hitting the wrong buttons on these things. I guess that's one thing we could do. We could use the photo stuff. That might tell you more. All right. In goes settings. I don't think you'd ever get it up to 60 frames per second, though. Maybe. Let's go back in, do FSR3. We're going to have frame gen. And we're going to drop this down to performance. Let's just see what that looks like. It's darker in game just because it's darker in the time. But let's just see. What's the frames per second? So that's 60. Okay. I mean, it's kind of impressive that you can get this close. That you can, we are running 1080p. Now, we are in desktop mode on the Steam Deck, but we are running 1080p. Oh, there's a good view. Can we get the same view of the face? That camera is stuck up against that wall. Let's see if we can do the same. Oh, no, I moved him. I moved him and it screwed it up. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Can we get close in? There we go. Let's try one more time this way. I can't get as close. I don't think it. There we go. Well, may not be exactly the same. am actually able to get a little bit in, and that's probably just the way PC works. A little bit closer. Truly, the Steam Deck is doing the exact same, I think. For something that's, well, 3 years old now, roughly close to it, it's holding its own at the same, at 1080p. I don't think it's too far off. The water's maybe, it looks okay, but maybe it's a little bit less desirable. I don't even know, does the Switch 2 water look good to anybody? Right? This is all my opinion. But I mean, between him and the stuff in the distance, oh, we keep phasing out on the Switch. Man, I don't think the Steam Deck looks bad. And that's well above what it probably wants to run at. This is, let's just run around a second just with the settings we have. That's 50, 53, 54 frames per second. 52. $56. It's not PlayStation quality or PlayStation 5 Pro or 4090, but a portable experience, that's not bad. Plus, it has more, like I said, density and actual foliage that is in the game that's not in the Switch 2 version. So that's not too bad. I've got to jump off because I got to go do stuff. But let's just do one more thing. Let's force it to 4K. Oh, I can't do that because it doesn't run. So this is the 1080p. I couldn't do it at 4K because I wouldn't be able to do a direct comparison. What I could do, I don't think it would work. It's not going to do it the right way. But this is so Steam Deck at 1080p, and then this is the. No, it is dark. It's nighttime in the game, so just imagine that. And then this is the Switch 2 at 1080p. I can't run to the same area. Damn it. Let's go run up this way. That's going to say I'm abandoning. Don't count me out yet. God. There we go. Okay. That's let's get back to where that is in the Steam Deck version. Nope. There we go. Yeah, I wish it was night. It was daytime. It would be a little bit better. But yeah, this is the Steam Deck running it at 1080p. With reasonable results. I mean, it might not be able to do 4K. I will say that. Like, there could be. So there's Steam Deck, and there's the Switch. If I could just get it in the daytime, it'd be a little bit better. But there's definitely more detail and more foliage and things like that. Like this hedge that's behind there. is not even in the Switch version. So they've saved resources by not having things like that. Like, yeah, same spot. And this is low settings. This is the lowest of the low settings for the Steam Deck. So like foliage density is better on Steam Deck, well, PC build, than it is on the Switch 2. Yeah, a little bit different in terms of the field of view. There's not really a way to do the same field of view on the Steam Deck versus the Switch. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that helps somebody. We didn't get to too many games today because I got stuck on the idea of like, let's take a look at this in direct capture. But I will make a video on this, separate video, and we'll just continue to do some comparing. I like to see the difference, but they're not really that different. They're not really super different when you really get down to it and you start toying around. I think people are always going to have preferences, both by the hardware itself and kind of like the look and feel. Like there is a different look to it. It's not massive, but there is a difference, and there's not really anything you can do about it, because there's certain things that I just can't control. I can't change. I can't change the field of view, and I can't add in foliage where foliage doesn't exist. I think the road, like if we were to like go in and like do the texture, let's just do that. There's always going to be like these little things I'll see that I'm like, oh, well, we could make that better if we go in and we just adjust this. It's going to be under the texture quality, most likely. It might be high. Let's just try that. Oops, unapplied. Let's do this. Okay, let's see it now. Even then, materials quality. Oops, it actually could be that. We've got texture quality high, and we've got material quality high. Okay, a little bit better. Yeah, pretty close now. It's a little off. Let's see, what else could they do? I get stuck on this. I can't stop. I mean, those types of things aren't really affecting much for in terms of like performance. Post-processing would... Shadow quality, we want to leave it low, probably. Material quality, fog quality. Visual effects. Well, let's just... I'm curious. Let's crank these things up to ultra. One of them is going to have to impact. Probably the foliage, but... Oh, nope. We're still... well, it was drawing things in, so... 58, 56. It did impact it slightly. Oh, are we getting... It's still dark. I'm trying to also see like what could be impacting that road. It just looks better in the Switch. It just looks like more rocks. I don't know. I don't think there's any difference. I think it's close. We need to go at this angle a little bit more to see. It does look like different textures though. Weird. But I mean that's pretty damn close. Like looking off that way. They both look full in terms of like grass, but there's different variations. And there's more on the Steam Deck. Like there's a tree off in the distance where there's none that exists, like by that church. Like on the Steam Deck, there's the actual tree. There's not the tree there. With our changes now, we're down to like 40 frames per second again, 48. 44. I mean, realistic. I don't think there's too much difference now. At least at 1080p. Now it can do 4K. Now it's upscaling and all that. I'll have to do that for the Steam Deck video. Yeah, we'll just do a comparison at different resolutions because I can turn the capture card. I can put it on the 4K capture card and be able to capture it there. So yeah, let's just the fog looks. There's actually fog. Let the fog roll through in the light. Yeah, we can't really compare like the lighting and the shadows is good until they was the same time of day. But yeah, we'll mess with it a little bit more, take some more video of it. I really don't think there's a huge difference. It's just, do you like Nintendo? Do you like Steam? I'd rather buy my stuff on PC, but you know, everybody does what they want. So appreciate everybody for watching. We will do more next Thursday. Like I said, with this job, the way it's going, things are changing a lot. Excuse me. And I'm busy working like probably between doing video stuff. I think I get up at 7 and start messing with this and doing social media for some companies. And I got home at 1 and that's been like all week long. So 18-hour days. I will get what I can done, but I appreciate everybody's patience. And yeah, we'll get back to doing a little bit more next Thursday. Hopefully next week it gets to be a little bit more streaming as well, but I can't guarantee that. So at least we'll try for a couple hours a day. So appreciate everybody for watching and definitely look for more videos. I've got more coming out. So thanks again.